I'm excited to share this first story with you. Before we get into it, though, tell our listeners you have a thing with, or maybe for, birds.
Okay, so that is a misconception. Birds actually have a thing for me. Anytime I'm
Okay.
at work, or let's say I work outside a lot, and anytime I'm at work, there's always birds approaching me, and it's startling to turn around and see a bird. And so I take a picture of them like anyone in the 21st century would do. And you started giving me shit for it, saying, what the fuck is up with you and birds? And at first I denied it. I denied it and denied it and denied it. But eventually I came to terms with it. I think I might actually be a bird god. Unwittingly up until recently, like for some reason, I don't know if I just sweat bird pheromones that attract them or what, but there's always birds nearby posing for me. So of course I take pictures. I mean, you see a goose like 5 feet away just staring at you and you're not going to take a picture of it? Fuck out of here.
Well, I mean, yeah, sure, maybe a goose, but not just like a random everyday
Sometimes it
bird.
is a goose.
Really?
Well, I mean, yeah. There's been at least one occasion where there was a goose just protecting a tree that I wanted nothing to do with, and we were at an install at work. Do you remember that goose? It was just sitting in the tree and fucking staring at us.
I guess not. I don't remember that goose. Have you ever thought though that any of these birds were maybe spying on you or for a government of a different country?
At first, I did. Yeah, at first I thought that might have been the case because it's kind of weird how often birds are nearby, and they're always really close, like too close for birds. But that thought has definitely crossed my mind before.
Well, officials in India kind of had the same thought. A pigeon, minding its own business near a port in Mumbai, blissfully unaware that its life was about to take a drastic change and a deep dive into the world of espionage, was brought into custody by Mumbai officials on the grounds that it may be a spy for the Chinese government. Why, you ask? This pigeon, weirdly enough, and I can understand where they're coming from here. This pigeon did have a message scrolled across its wings, and can you guess what language it was in?
I'm guessing Chinese, Russian.
Chinese, yeah. So that is weird. And the authorities, in a frenzy, assumed the pigeon, as you would, was a secret agent. Weirdly enough,
Makes sense.
guess who the hero of this story was?
Was it the bird?
It wasn't the bird. The bird was just an everyday bird. Fear not. For in the darkest of paltry moments, there emerged an Indian hero amongst a bunch of regular people, and this animal was liberated by none other than PETA, who's notoriously kind of the bad guy in this situation. But in a statement that had everyone in stitches, PETA declared after learning that a pigeon was held in a Mumbai parcel as case of property for an astonishing 8 months. This poor pigeon was held captive without trial for 8 months. PETA sprang into
Without
action.
even a trial?
Without even a trial. I know. PETA India sprang into action to secure the bird's freedom, and as of early last week, our pigeon friend has been freed. But I just, like, imagine this poor pigeon's confusion. Like, he's getting a medical examination, wondering, what the hell is going on here? Am I getting a beak lift? Are they checking for hidden microphones? What's happening? But in the end, our feathered friend has been freed, and I'm happy to announce he was not a spy. He was just a regular old pigeon.
Damn, and not a single person in India had just a Chinese translator to read what was on the bird's leg, or I mean, I'm guessing that had to have happened at some point. Like, just because it's Chinese writing doesn't necessarily make it suspicious. Like, were you able to find out what was written on it?
No, so when I was researching
like,
this
not
story,
a spy or something?
It was literally just the words "not a spy," but in Mandarin.
Because that would be pretty suspicious.
No. When I was researching this, I could not find anything about what the actual written message was on this bird's feathers.
Damn. Well, that's fucking crazy. It's almost like the Indian government like fully fell for the birds aren't real conspiracy theory.
And I couldn't
It's
help
kind of
but
hard
think
to
about
take them
you.
serious as a country after that.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that kind of makes me think about myself as well.
I owe you an
Because
apology. I thought you were a paranoid stoner who was scared of everyday birds, but I understand. Any one of them could have been a spy
I,
for the Russians
or
or
Chinese,
the Chinese.
or see that seems like a thing that the American government would probably do. Like after everyone was calling the Biden administration crazy for the spy balloons last year, and some of the balloons that were shot down last year were just like private owned science projects,
Hmm.
and you remember everyone was worked into a frenzy. It's just like the CIA to capture a pigeon, write a bunch of Chinese on it, and release it in Mumbai. And like, oh, who's crazy now? You got spy birds.
Hmm.